prior to slavery being illegal, would you have opposed slavery because it was legal? It was legal, Piers. It's okay if it's legal, right?
Sophie?
I mean, I didn't live back then. I'm just here to talk about what we are here to talk about, which is syntax, and it's a selective. Of course you didn't
live back then, Sophie.
Every time Sophie Rain appears online, she somehow manages to piss people off. And this time, we're not mad because she's promoting OF to Kid. It's because every new clip, every new interview, every time she opens her mouth, she always finds new way to make herself more unsufferable. It's got to the point where every time she talks, I need a bottle of vodka just to make it bearable. What happened is that during a podcast, the host asked Sophie Rain which celebrity had slid in her DMs. And she told us that Drake was in her DMs looking for that $80 million coochie. But what really pissed people off was her saying that Drake was too easy, as if the entire internet doesn't have access to her body for $5 a month.
Like, Drake's been in there, but like, he's easy.
Wait, Drake's been in your DMs?
Yeah, Drake's been in my DMs. I have his phone number. But
have
like,
you guys talked?
Yeah, we've talked, but I fumbled really hard.
Wait, how do you fumble? How did you fumble?
Okay, because he wanted me to fly to the Bahamas, and then I had something, so I stopped texting him. And then I texted him, and he was like, "Oh, you're texting me because you're not busy." So like, I fumbled because like,
Drake wanted you to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
Peachlini.
I didn't want to go by myself. I didn't want to go by myself.
Peachlini.
Ghosting Drake is way cooler.
I know. Yeah. And then that's what he said. He said, "Oh, you're just gonna ghost me again, aren't you?"
Drake, the type of guy to slide into Sophie Rain's DM.
How
ghosted.
shocked?
But he was so awesome. Like, I don't mean to. I'm just busy. I'm sorry.
How excited were you when you saw Drake?
It was pretty cool.
That is fucking insane.
But
that's insane.
I mean, I don't.
What the hell?
I'm not like crazy.
What about Yeet? Check Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. YEAT. I bet you he has.
No, the only thing I have from Yink is FaZe Banks saying that he's going to dinner with Yeet tonight and I should come.
Did she say that to gain attention and clout? Absolutely, because what else can she do? We're talking about Sophie Rain. If someone came to you, gun on your head, and asked you to name one thing she can do except porn and TikTok dances, you'd probably take the gun and shoot yourself because you don't. She's like Selena Powell or Brittany Reiner. Those women survive by being seen as sexual object, nothing else. And even if you did not have to answer the question or name drop Drake, I think the internet would have been able to overlook that. But the second you said he's too easy, it's like, are we dead ass? Isn't this you? Or isn't this you? The only reason you said that was because you want the internet to see you as this woman who just had that 2016 LeBron James block on Drake. All that for the sake of going viral. But let's be honest, we know how Drake is. We know he loves women. Drake's DM per second might actually be faster than some country's ping. Him DMing you doesn't make you special. And how come did you fumble something easy? Because to my knowledge, when something is easy, you're not supposed to fumble it. Having those two in the same sentence gives out the same energy as saying, that was the easiest exam of my life. I'm probably gonna get a 0. Like, isn't there a problem here? What happened, Sophie? I thought he was...
He's easy.
But that's not even the craziest part, because there's an image circulating on the internet where apparently Drake said he never talked to her. Never met, never spoke, never flew. I hope people start doing more with the one life we all given shaded side out here. Even though it looks like something Drake would say, I can't guarantee that this image is real. And honestly, if that Drake story was fake, exaggerated, or just another attention play, it wouldn't even be out of character for Sophie Rain. Because this is not the first time she tried to shape public perception by selling people a version of herself that sounds a lot better than what her actual behavior reflects. And one of the best examples of that is the whole Christian/good girl image she keeps trying to push.
I don't want bad stuff like flying around my name. I don't want people thinking that I advertise to kids, because that is the last thing I want.
No, of course, I get that.
Yeah, that was never my intention. What happened was that it just like, I watched your video. That didn't sit well with me personally, because it just kept me up at night, and I really don't like that you think that way.
Yo, really? Was it that bad?
I don't want anyone thinking that about me. I'm a Christian. Like, I know it's like, it seems odd. I'm doing, what did you call it? OnlyFans? I don't do anything else with anyone on my OnlyFans. Like, it's just me. I'm a virgin to this day. Like,
I just want to mention that this clip is from last year, and if I remember correctly, the YouTuber made a video accusing her of promoting who have 2 kids, which isn't misleading if you know what her strategy is. And this is exactly where Sophie starts getting annoying, because every single time somebody points out the obvious, she suddenly reaches for innocence. Like anytime people bring up the fact that her content clearly gets pushed to younger audiences and that she's obviously benefiting from that whole pipeline, she suddenly wants to lean into the whole "I'm Christian, that goes against my values" image, which she doubled down on by saying she only did OF because she was broke.
so people were going around saying that I was doing porn, and it got to my manager. So my manager had a meeting with me, and because he's very Christian and he knows my family, he knows I'm very Christian. So he like sat me down and like questioned me and like made me like a 2-hour conversation. I was sobbing my eyes out, like, and he put me in a corner and like he basically fired. My friends and people around me were saying that I should just start an friends.
Yep.
And that I should just play into it and use it to my advantage, because at this point, what do I have to lose?
She's still a virgin and she's waiting for the right man.
Are you still a virgin? Because I know that was the thing. You still are. Wow. Okay, so it's gonna be a lucky guy one of these days.
It's got to be someone that likes a lot of animals also.
Animals.
Live on the farm.
Okay, maybe we need to put you on the show Farmer Wants a Wife.
Oh, yes, that's honestly a good idea. That's honestly a really good idea.
There you go. Sophie wants a husband.
Please.
That is so funny.
Isn't that kind of weird, guys? Because wasn't Drake gonna give her the Lover Boy special if she hadn't fumbled? But now she's a...
Are you still a virgin? Because I know...
And she's waiting for...
Sophie wants a husband.
Please.
And you still have to do OF despite being the biggest earner on the app. Well, it's true that $42 million annually is nothing in today's economy. Okay, guys, I think I have to use it. I didn't want to use my curse technique that early into the video, but I guess I just don't have any other options. Don't LOP. This is where it stops sounding like personal values and starts sounding like audience management. Because let's be honest, we've seen this play before. Internet girls have been using relationship ambiguity, purity ambiguity, and that whole maybe I'm still in touch, maybe I'm different image for years. Because it keeps a certain type of guy emotionally invested. There are only 2 types of men on this planet. The first are the ones who will use their kids' college funds to gamble and help their family. The second one are the men who will use their kids' college fund to see her drink milk. Do not be the second type of men. The second they think you're still innocent, available, or not like the others, they stay in the DMs longer. They send more money, they buy more gifts. And that's why I don't buy the whole act. Because if you're really this Christian virgin waiting for her loyal husband, then how do we somehow end up here? If those girls were in their 20s in the 2010s, I know where you could have found them.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
This is not you being misunderstood. This is not you being unfairly judged. This is you building one narrative when it helps you look pure and then switching lanes the second the money needs to keep flowing. That's the real issue. If you want to do what you do, then cool, do it. But stop dragging religion into it every single time your image needs CPR. Because at that point, you're not standing on values. You're just using morality as a PR package. It reminds me of that one Muslim friend who swears he's a good Muslim because he doesn't eat pork and does Ramadan. Meanwhile, the rest of the year, he's moving like a rejected Wolf of Wall Street extra and testing every single substance known to mankind. And I know no one is perfect, but there's a difference between committing a sin and constantly indulging in one. At that point, stop involving God every time you need better branding. And it is the same thing when she says she donates money so she's a good person. Like, donating money is a good thing, but one good deed does not magically erase a whole pattern of contradiction. I could sell cocaine on Monday, gave money to a charity on Friday, and I'm still selling cocaine on Sunday. The check does not cancel the poison. And if you're still watching this far into the video, then Subscribe, this channel is made for you, thanks. And her appearance on Piers Morgan show really feels like the culmination of everything, because that's when you truly see that all she cares about is the moolah and making as much of it as possible, no matter the means.
So what do you feel about James Fishback and his plan to tax you 50% as a sin tax for being a sinner?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. Florida already has no income state tax. It doesn't exist. So it seems very selective, and it seems like it's a punishment.
James, are you there, James? Yeah, you are. I mean, Sophie says that that she feels like this is a punishment. Why are you punishing her?
Well, hey, Sophie, good to meet you. It's not a punishment at all. What it is a deterrent. I think Sophie recognizes that our state was better off when young women aspired to be teachers, small business owners, doctors, and lawyers, as opposed to creating adult content. I can respect Sophie Rain as an individual and still respectfully call out that I don't want thousands of young women who are in high school today to feel like the only way they can make a living when they graduate is selling adult content, video, photos of themselves on the internet. And so, Sophie, look, with all due respect, I know you're from Florida. I'm from Florida. We both love our state. I want what's best for you, and I want what's best for every single woman in our state, and that's not to be objectified and exploited by the OnlyFans owners.
Sophie, what's your response to that?
I feel like as adults, we are all able to legally make our own decisions. And I think that we should also educate a lot more on all of these opportunities that you're speaking of, because I just don't think that we should be singling out any individual for what they choose to do.
James?
Well, I want to single out drug dealers, Sophie. I want to single out people who are committing crimes in our society. And so as governor, my responsibility is very simple. I want to make sure that there is a path. What is, with all due respect to Sophie, what are you going to tell your daughter in 10 or 15 years when all of these images are all over the internet and your daughter is being bullied in middle school and was told that you guys were Christians? With all due respect, what do you say then? It creates a real weight, a real tension between a mom and her children, and of course, a worker and her employer. I don't want to encourage women to go on OnlyFans and then get fired from their job and then have a real fight at home about what mommy did on the internet last week.
Okay, Sophie?
I mean, I'm only 21. I haven't even thought about having kids yet. But also, I think that the main discussion here is sin tax. And like in the state of Florida, there's already no income tax. So, and that's also one of the main identities of Florida, is that it is a no income state tax. And I think the main issue here is you're attacking women already on the site making money.
I'm attacking men as well.
Exactly. There's multiple people on the site, and not everyone does adult content.
Prior to slavery being illegal,
the same laws that you do, James.
No, Piers. Prior to slavery being illegal, would you have opposed slavery because it was legal? It was legal, Piers. It's okay if it's legal, right?
Sophie?
I mean, I didn't live back then. I'm just here to talk about what we are here to talk about, which is
an analogy.
Of
course you didn't live back then, Sophie. Of course you didn't. This is my issue. I'm here to have a good faith conversation with a former Florida resident, a current Florida resident. And my point to Sophie is this, is if you want to keep doing this, then we're going to take 50% of what you earn and we're going to use it to raise public school teacher pay. Our public school teachers are not getting paid enough. We're going to use this as a resource to fund the empowerment of young women who have signed up to do something dignified, with all due respect, unlike you, and be a public school teacher, educating, inspiring, and motivating.
Do you know what, James?
Sophie? Earth to Sophie? Are you there? Hello? That must be a case of the lights are on, but no one is there. I don't know who thought she was the Michael Jordan of debates, but she just proved why young women need an education rather than aspiring to become OF models the millisecond they turn 18. Like, I'm not gonna disagree. When you are 18, you're legal, you can do whatever you want. But let's be honest, are you mature enough to make the right decisions? Are you mature enough to assess the situation properly? There's a huge difference between being legal and being mature. And trust me, we all make dumb decisions decisions when we were younger that we regret today. And the question is, how many of those young women who saw an OF account at the age of 18 are gonna regret it in the future, in 5, 10, 20 years, when they have a family, when they have kids or whatever? And you can't say money will come for you, because you won't be Sophie Rain. You won't be one of those top dogs, supernovas, or emperors. You're not gonna be one of those top tier characters in One Piece. You're gonna be a father-ass pirate. Most of those women on OF barely make $1,000 a month because there's just too much competition on it. And that's most likely gonna be your case too. I know, being a doctor sucks. You wanted that OF lifestyle, but I'm sorry, we need doctors too, so go back to school. And I know this is not the whole debate, but this clip clearly shows that Sophie is only here for her own interest. Guys, let's not forget, she lives in Florida. This tax directly impacts her. She avoids certain questions.
I'm only 21. I haven't even thought about having kids yet. But also, I think that the main discussion here is syntax.
She can't even answer a simple yes or no question because she's just that dumb.
I mean, I didn't live back then. I'm just here to talk about what we are here to talk about, which is syntax.
Or maybe deep down she knows she'd be for slavery. Like, I don't know, it's possible. She's not there to defend anyone's right. She's not there to debate. She's only there to protect her own personal wallet. And I think that debate really showed the whole problem with Sophie Rain. Because when she finally had the chance to sound principled or thoughtful, she just sounded like somebody trying to protect the machine that makes her rich. And that's why Sophie Rain is hated, not necessarily because of what she does, but because every time she talks, she somehow reminds people that the image she sells and the reality behind it don't match. She's a money-hungry hypocrite, plain and simple. But that'll be all for today's video, guys. And also, if you're tired of seeing the same nonsense online, if you're tired of seeing people chasing attention, subscribe, because this channel is only getting better. And if you don't subscribe, well, it's not a problem. Domain expansion, unlimited subscribers.